what is going on? Welcome in. So excited to be here with you today, always. This is the, sunshine of my day. The light spot. But thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're looking at the collective energy for today. So welcome. We are in full moon energy. So depending on where you're located, the full moon was the 26th or 27th. These messages are timeless, so whenever you happen to watch them, as long as it resonates, it's meant for you. I think we know. But yeah, so we are kind of in the midst of full moon energy. My plan is to upload a full moon spirit reading tonight, so stay tuned if you're interested. There's a lot going on, we're obviously in the middle of the holiday season. We're around a lot of people, places, and things. So I love starting the readings out with an energy clearing, as I say every day, right? Just clearing your vibe, your energy, mine, as well as the tools that I'll be using. I do a pre-cleansing on myself. This is a heads up. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release all that doesn't serve us, that is not for our highest good. Allow the highest and best messages to come through. It's been a pretty emotional energy, I will definitely say. This full moon is in Cancer, so I'm saying that because it can be so easy to pick up all those feelings, all those emotions, especially when we're around various people, lots of people, maybe people we don't see all the time or don't always get along with, etc. What I do love about the energy is there is this value of, as much as we're experiencing change, tension, resistance, there's also a lot of support if we're just kind of being honest and authentic to our path. I know that goes without saying, but sometimes a lot has been shifting over these past couple years, obviously. The world is changing a lot, and I look at it like the snow globe, right? There has to be the shakeup. There has to be those tower moments that pull the rug from underneath us, that kind of change our perspective in order so we can evolve more towards something that is life honoring, that is supportive of who we are. I was picking up, cleaning up, preparing for this reading today, and the Judgment card fell out. I love it in this Celestial Tarot deck. It's governed by Pluto. It's Scorpio energy. It represents change, birth, death, birth, transformation, the rising of the phoenix, right? What I love so much about this energy, the Judgment, it's not the easiest energy because it is that wake-up call. It is when we have that clarity, how much we sacrifice ourselves to something or let someone treat us a certain way or, believed a certain thing about ourselves. And that's really what's changing so we can step into that evolution. It's not always the easiest pill to swallow, right? Like when we have to see things about ourselves, about people we care about, those in our environment, etc. And we are supported. If we don't feel like we have the physical support, well, hopefully this supports you. Yeah, that's my desire. I know these readings really help support me as I'm going through various things. Obviously, I love to do it. And it is really beautiful how the energy, both astrologically with divination tools like tarot, oracle, runes, crystals, etc., they really connect the dots. Things that we might not see point blank, right, in the physical realm. It's, again, I've talked a lot about that Neptune in Pisces energy where we can buy into the illusion, buy into the BS. Sometimes we're like very convincing to ourselves, right? Anywho, I'm getting off on a little tangent, but what I feel so powerful, the message that I felt like I needed to share, in his hand, he's holding this golden disc with these vibrant gems, beautiful stones. There's that angel above him with the trumpet. And it's like, I hear this as this is the opportunity to make those changes, to be aware, to release and let go, or readjust, right? It doesn't, you know, I hope it doesn't come across that it's this value of hacking everything out of your life. You know, I think it's just like knowing what is honoring of you and your path and where you're going, and being aware of it, right? And being aware of how it's presented in your life and where you are limiting yourself. That limitation, like I said, Mercury is square to Neptune, so there is this energy of being able to sift through the lies, through the BS. Sometimes, like I said, we don't want to see. We put those blinders on, and we end up giving too much credit where it is not due. Often this is coming because we're not valuing ourselves. We're not giving ourselves the proper validation, you know, or accolades that we deserve. Maybe we're giving our power away because there's this idealistic notion, especially with the full moon being in Cancer. That's a lot of water energy. Water is about our feeling, our intuition, tapping into the spirit world, the more subtle layers, what we feel, how we perceive, etc. And so it can make things seem just very fuzzy, you know, for lack of a better word. It's cloudy judgment, you know, if we feel that way. But I think when we open our eyes, and the sun and the moon are both harmoniously aspected to Jupiter today. Jupiter is still in retrograde, but it's forcing us, like I said, the places to see the places that we're limiting ourselves, that we're not allowing ourselves to grow and expand and claim that thing that we desire, that we want. You know, Venus is square to Saturn, which I think that's part of that illusion I was talking about, where we really don't want to see, or we don't want to do the work, or we're feeling like a little bit of that laissez-faire, you know, and I think it's all relative. I think in some ways we need to know what we can and can't do, where we're at, where the situation's at, etc. What is most important to get out of the way. That's really what this is about. It's not necessarily the scrutinizing the nitty-gritty right now. Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Spirit. Confirmation, the cutting board. So it is like, you know, it reminds me of when I'm prepping a meal, right? You're on the vegetables, you're cutting off the bad parts, or, you know, the roots, or, you know what I mean? Like, you're cleaning them up. So you're actually ingesting the best parts, or the parts that taste the best, I should say. There's a lot of nutrients in the skin, but unfortunately, you know, it can taste like dirt, right? So this is saying that I feel like it's more of a refining. It's not like that fail swoop, you know, that complete detachment, so to speak. Communication coming in today for you. Mercury is in retrograde, so there is a lot of support towards old things being worked out. This is also hearing from the grapevine is what I'm seeing with that telephone. You know, it's that game like where you pass it down the line, and by the end, you know, of the line, it's completely different. That's what it reminds me of. So I feel like be really conscious and mindful. Someone might be trying to repair something. Maybe you're repairing something. Knowing, again, what is worth the intention to invest in. And sometimes, you know, I don't know, I'm not saying like there's too many knots in, but I feel like for some things, you know, anytime well, actually, I don't even know if that's true. I was gonna say that, well, anytime you break something, there is an element of fracture to it. It is gonna weaken it. That's what I was gonna say. I know that knotting is a value of re-strengthening. There might be certain things that you thought hope was lost, and actually there is an opportunity to get stronger through whatever the situation was. But I also feel that there is this heavy undertone of being really scrupulous with how you approach these situations. People from the past, forget me not. How you see someone, how you see a certain situation, maybe wanting to, this person wanting to right some of those wrongs is what I'm hearing. I do feel like there is a lot of processing that you're going through as well with the forget-me-nots. Maybe you're reflecting a lot on the past. This is definitely the time of year to do it, you know, like when we're approaching a new year, we see lots of different people, places, things, etc. And, you know, it is a time of reflection. It is a time of looking back on. And this is knowing what is working for us in the present moment, what needs to be readjusted and shifted, and what needs to be cut out completely. Because there is, and this has been popping up in all of our readings, there is this energy of people, situations, not necessarily having the highest, that Four of Cups energy, like the best intention, I should say. Four of Cups is taking something for granted, being despondent, not really realizing the opportunities that are in front of you, getting sucked into the past, right? Letting the past block your movement forward. And it's hard not to, especially when there is more watery energy in the astrology, because that is our default mechanism to kind of go back to that place of like, woe is me, or this didn't work out, or I hate this, or I wish this was different. Some things can be repaired with this knot energy, and some things just can't. And it doesn't make anything good, bad, right, or wrong. And whether you're in this Four of Cups energy or this is just in your environment, there is a lot going on. This is pretty typical Two of Pentacles energy for this time of year. Again, we're like all busy. We have a billion places we need to be. It's crazy. I like literally thought, I was like, oh my, I'm gonna have so much extra time and blah, blah, blah. And it was just like not the case. And I don't even feel like we had a lot going on. So it's finding that balance, especially for your emotional well-being. King of Cups, it is someone who does have mastery of their emotions, but it can also be someone who's very emotional, right? So King is mastery. Like I said, it's being able to overcome, to have something in check, so to speak. So there's a lot going on. I do feel like this is more your external environment. I don't get that this is necessarily you, but it involves you, right? Eight of Wands, confirmation of that message energy coming in today. Or maybe this is just like how you're communicating, how you're showing up. Ace of Cups, new potential, new beginnings, unfolding, new opportunity. I feel like you are tapping into that. Your energy is really, despite what's going on around you, your energy feels positive. It feels good. Even in those spaces that it might, that there is heartbreak, there is pain. Three of Swords energy. This has also been coming up for us a little more regularly. So really watch that getting too sucked into things. I'm a huge proponent of feeling our energy, feeling our feelings is what I was gonna say. It's important, right? Because when we don't, they get blocked. We're not aware of them, etc. And then they can come out in ways that might be a little bit humbling. So if I feel like for you, it's kind of just find that balance. Like, it's like you see the future, you see what's ahead of you, you have this vision. It might not be incredibly clear yet, but you feel good. It's just like a little bit of this old weight, this old energy that is weighing on you. And again, like I said, with full moon in Cancer, that's just like so much energy. It's like so much going on at once. So we really need to continue to push forward, because I feel like delay, yes, like I like that concept of we have to weigh the emotion with the practical, It's good to feel our feelings. It's good to have a cry. It's journal it out, like whatever you need to do, right? But then we also have to like live our life. And that's the practical side of it. Not getting too sucked into the energy, like I've been saying. It's more about processing the energy. And I feel like there's this thing for you. Don't hesitate. Whatever you have in the works, whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, the plans that you have coming in, this is basically saying keep chipping away at those things. We saw that with the new moon in Sagittarius, where there is this energy of planning for, the next year, essentially. There's going to be a lot shifting, like in a good way. I feel like we're settling into a new time. Pluto is moving into Aquarius at the beginning of the year. So again, that confirms that death, rebirth that I was talking about. And it's allowing us to tap into more potential. Aquarian energy is the energy of hope and wishes and friends and community, like our idealism, right? It's our utopia. And that's what you need to keep pressing towards. Like, stop waiting is what it's saying. Because you have this gift coming in, and I think this is actually coming in quite quickly. I don't really feel like you have to do anything to receive this per se, outside of not getting sucked into this. So really kind of just finding some practical tools for yourself, i.e. when you're going into that place and maybe I'm getting too depressed or this is too much. Okay, so like say some things that you did right, that you are excited about, flip that perspective instead of getting weighed down with, what didn't go a certain way. We can't really control people, places, and things as much as maybe we would want to. We just can't. And so the only thing we can control is ourselves in the mix of it. And I feel like this is a choice of yours to evolve. It's leading you to something pretty badass, I would say. It's standing in your power, standing in the strength. I love this deck. It's so dope. That justice energy, it's so strong. Balancing of the scales, knowing what to cut out and what to give grace to. The connection, also using that intuition, the connection that you have with spirit. And not being afraid of like who you are, what you think, what you believe in the process of it. A lot of times we won't make certain decisions because we're afraid of what people might think around us. It helps you step into that thing of like, I'm not feeding this anymore. I'm not giving energy into this thing anymore. That's like just holding me back. The thing about when we get too trapped in our grief and our emotion, most of us can identify, resonate with this. It really makes it hard to move forward. It makes it hard to kind of find the energy, the drive, the ambition to kind of make it better, especially when we go through really heavy things in life, It can be very exhausting, incredibly draining. But I feel like you've worked through most of it. That's what I hear. But I think there is this little layer left that's kind of blocking you, that it's putting you into this 3 of Wands mode, where it's an energy of our ships coming in. So the seeds that we planted, they are coming towards you. But it's also this energy of waiting, just, like I'll do it next week, or it's always in the future. It's never right now. And part of what we know about law of attraction, manifestation, ask, believe, receive, right? You have to have that believe component. Like that you're worthy of it and that you can have it and that you do have it right now, right? That is what connects us with that energy to be able to draw in that thing. Most of it is belief. And I feel like this is belief in your power. You have a very powerful energy that you're heading towards with this Justice, 8 of Cups, the Magician, because that's basically saying how, like, you're getting stronger the more you step away. 8 of Cups is a toxic energy. It's unhealthiness. It's like anything that's a distraction or really just doesn't fit for us anymore. It doesn't have to be this like big life change or anything like that, but it is just the things that, they just don't resonate. And we have to be aware of that, because anytime we come into engagement, contact with something that doesn't fit and we keep trying to force the issue, it really is like lowering our vibration, you know? And not in a way of like, oh, I'm better than you, but in this vibe of like, it makes it harder to like honor yourself when you're in that kind of an environment. Deborah. All right, let's close this out. What else? Let me see. Yeah, so stay tuned if you, I'm probably going to do that this evening at some point. I'll try to get it uploaded before it's like too late. It can be a little like evening watch time energy. Ooh, this came out, the fog. So confirmation of what I was saying earlier, right? 2122 is on the clock. So it's like, I don't get lost in other people is what I'm hearing. Don't get lost in other people's ideas, opinions, how it should be. This is really about standing strong within yourself. Clarity of vision, it's not the strongest right now. Like I said, we're in that full moon energy. Usually the energy carries on for a couple days. And it's just been, like I said, a little bit heavier than maybe we would like. Using that internal wisdom. We got a lot of owl energy yesterday, I remember as well. So this is like that value of seeing in the dark, right? Owls have that nocturnal vision. They're, nocturnal animals, right? So it's using all your resources is what I'm saying. Using all your senses, everything that you have at your disposal to assess a situation, especially if you have someone coming back from the past who's trying to say something to you. Really gauge the feeling around this. Do you trust this person? Is this worthy? Is there, whatever this exchange is, like, how does it feel for you? How does it fit for you? There's a lot of, well, I guess, I was going to say there's a lot of nocturnal energy, but this deck is called Nocturna. So everything that happens at night. I really love the night blooming water lily for you, though. It's reminding you that we have to go through the muck. We have to go through the bullshit in order to produce beautiful things. We don't always there's not always like some huge reason as to why we go through hardship. Sometimes it's just about getting stronger, being better, believing in ourselves, unfolding into ourselves even more, opening to our authenticity and who we are as, conscious beings. Like, human potential is amazing. And I just wonder, how dope would it be if like we actually believed in ourselves or actually tapped into that limitless potential? And we do have the opportunity to do it through practices like transcendental meditation, yoga, pranayama, those things that help unify. And I'm not saying you have to buy into the spiritual or the religious components of it, but it's all connected. We're spiritual beings, right? Like, consciousness is a spiritual concept. It's the most subtle layers. And that when we cleanse and purify that part of ourselves, it's a trickling effect. Everything else falls in alignment. Mind, body, soul, right? Tidal pool. It's actually funny. I saw this card came out as I was shuffling the deck earlier. And it's this place of safety, right? It's a place of warmth. It is where sea creatures collect, and there is this element of like, it kind of reminds me of like a watering hole or something like that, where there's opportunity for community to come together to kind of just enjoy the beauty that life does offer, whether it's taking a walk today, finding something, you know, being out in nature, grounding yourself a little bit more so that you don't say something, react in a certain way that you don't want to. The full moon energy definitely brings that out in us. We feel all the feels. That's why we have practices, wellness practices, watching things like this that help keep us stable and aligned, so we feel a little bit better. We are reminded of our strength, of our courage, of our ability to do things, you know? And this is basically saying that you can kind of rest in the fruits of your labor as well. It doesn't have to be just this, you know, work, right? Or, you know, because we've also been getting these messages about rest and reprieve and how important it is to take care of ourselves. It does feel like there's a lot happening today. This is pretty typical with full moon energy because it's heightened. Everything is kind of like, you know, and like I said, it's a busy time of year. So I feel like, yes, make sure you're taking care of yourself, cutting out the simple things throughout your day that you don't need, and not getting thrown off course, really keeping your antennae up. That is a constant, probably, message, a permanent message always, but even more specifically during this time of Mercury retrograde, especially connecting with people from the past, people that it might feel a little bit of tension or resistance, or maybe it wasn't a great year with them, or whatever it may be for you. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for your time and energy always. I hope you have a fabulous day. I'm sending you lots of love and blessings and light always. Okay, thank you. Too much outro, Deborah. All right, see you.